Look at that, I got a battle video. I got a fairly long battle video, because this is actually, okay, where do I start? So, first off, I've been gone for a little bit. Again, I tend to do these things. It's not my fault, I promise. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but you get it. You get it, I get busy, but I have a lot of battles coming back for you guys. And this battle, in particular, is actually two battles strung together, but this one has a string of, circumstances behind it. So, as you're probably already noticing by the thumbnail and the title, this is going to be part of a Wi-Fi battling series. I joined a group recently that it joined all of the college Pokemon clubs that are floating around into one pool, and they said, "Hey, let's have a tournament and let's see who comes out on top." You know, that whole thing. So, I'm sorry, I'm feeling really distracted right now, but the main points I do want to bring up about these two games, at least before anything else, is that this is actually my round 2 game, because my round 1 matches were they were so weird, they were so bad. It was like some really in-game team shit, but I mean, you know what, that's to be expected in the first couple of rounds, and I figured, you know what, I have to have all of the games, and I feel bad that I don't at least have one of those first games, because then it just doesn't mean anything at this point. So if you're wondering where round one was, it basically just ended up being a 2-0 victory over my opponent, because these are best of 3 series for these games. And the other thing that I do feel the need to mention, this is a weird version of XY meta, and yeah, I said XY because there's no ORS megas allowed. There was this really hot button issue for a little while about whether or not Greninja was going to be allowed, because that got banned between the conception of the tournament and when the tournament actually started. And we ultimately ended up giving it the boot for this round, but I didn't fight any Greninjas in round 1 anyway. It was just more about the principle of the matter, where if you're going to follow Smogon for everything else, you should just go the whole 9 yards and, not let that thing be around, because it was a threat. It was definitely a threat. But I went with a team that it's a team. It's a rain team. I haven't really run aggressive, hyper-dependent weather teams like I did more or less my Sun team back in the day. But I can give you guys a quick rundown, because I actually set up 4 minutes to talk about the series in general, as well as, what I have going on for the next couple of weeks for you guys. So, quick rundown on the team, regular physical defensive Politoed, you know how that is. It's a Specs Keldeo that I think is a fully physically defensive Ferrothorn, but I re-EV it somewhere along the way. I think it was in like round 4 or round 5, I just reset bagged it, but I kept the same nature. Manectric, Mega Manectric in the rain, dropping thunders left and right, pretty cool. And then, Fit Slot is actually a very important decision of mine, just because if I had the choice, I would be using Mega Swampert instead of Mega Manectric, just because it can take hits from Talonflame really well. And it also has the immunity to the electric typing, so I had to pick something else that would really function well in rain and not necessarily give my team a more glaring electric type weakness than it does already. So I figured, hey, what, Mega Manectric would fit nicely here. I can come and get a Lightning Rod and then just, push everybody's shit in with a couple of Thunders while I can. That was going back to that. But Kabutops just addresses a potential Talonflame weakness that I could have going on. Slash is just a really good check to it outside of, the natural gift variants or whatever, which are kind of weird. And, the last slot is pretty self-explanatory. That's just regular, Life Orb Bird Natus, nothing weird about that. It's just going to drop off 100% accurate Hurricanes whenever it can, and that's the team. We're going to see a couple of tweaks later on in the rounds, but this is what I got comfy with for the opening round, so I figured, hey, you know what, let's try it out and see how it works. So, the one thing I do feel the need to mention is we're still very much coming out of round 1 and round 2 new territory. This is equivalent to bottom of the ladder stuff, except for when you're sitting on the bottom of the ladder, at least you remember to give some of your Pokemon items, which is something I ran into here. I saw Glalie, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be dealing with Mega Glalie, and I realized that ORS Megas are not allowed, so I'm actually just dealing with a regular Glalie, and if he Megas, then that counts as a game loss for him. Just because, both of the participants do have ORS doesn't mean they're allowed to use ORS Megas is the main thing there. So, I'm going to go into Ferrothorn here because it's a free switch. I can take anything that Glalie wants to throw at me, get free rocks up. You know how that works. It's Ferrothorn. It's Fooball. Fooball's probably team player. If I had to give this team a mascot, it would probably not be Politoed, it would not be Manectric, it would not even be Kabutops, it would just be Fuba. So, in case you've seen Fuba, Fuba's great. Just go ahead and go for Leech Seed. I see Hypnosis coming with a Melodic. Yo, I haven't seen that since like early Diamond Pearl. That shit's weird. Actually, no. Scratch that. Do you guys remember, those of you that were in that live stream, that I ran into that Hypnosis Coil, like Blizzard Hydro Pump Melodic? What the fuck was that? That was some weird shit. But that definitely is not what I'm running into right now. This is just like Hypnosis and Scald, and that's all I'm really noticing right now. But if he Scalds me, then I don't get put to sleep. Or if he Scald burns me, that's fine. He misses 2 Hypnosises, you know, reasonable for that to happen with 60% accuracy. But that is not how luck should work. It should not stockpile itself and say, oh, he didn't get it. Oh, he didn't get it. Here, we'll give you a crit and a burn at the same time. But, you know, not really that Fuba really cares. It's just, it's more of a principle of the matter kind of a thing, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's fine. It's literally just me wondering why he's not switching. I guess we can talk about Fuba set a little bit too. He's just Stealth Rock, Leech Seed, Gyro Ball, and Protect, I think is what I have on him. And then he missed, what the hell did he go for there? Did he go for Hydro Pump or some shit like that? I feel like that's the only, oh, he probably went for Hypnosis again. I don't know. He went for Hypnosis or Hydro Pump and he missed. Either way, I guess Keldeo really wasn't too worried about it, so. Manectric's going to come in for some random-ass reason. I don't know why. Maybe he thought I was going to have, like, HP Electric or something like that. I had no reason not to go for Spec Secret Sword, and believe it or not, where I'm at in the tournament right now and the amount of work that Keldeo has done, that's probably the most amount of work I've seen Keldeo do. Keldeo has just been an unusual amount of dead weight, and I really don't understand why. Maybe because of the fact that it's choiced. I probably should have made it a setup sweeper, you know, just sub Calm Minding set. That would have worked out fine too. I don't know. Anyway, I speed up this part because this is one of the weirdest fucking things I've ever seen. So I'm stuck in here, so I can't switch out or do anything like that in order to get my rain back up, and I get hit with an Infestation and a Will-O-Wisp, so I'm already losing a shit ton of HP per turn. I'm losing, like, is that 25%? I think that's 25%. I don't know what else he's gonna go for here. So he's got Disable, Will-O-Wisp, Infestation, and I'm wondering, okay, you know what the hell is his 4th move? He's just gonna be stalling. It can't be Pain Split because he's not getting back any HP that way. And he just, I have Parasong in this thing too, so I don't know why I didn't go for it. I just know what I was going to be running into, because this is just kind of weird. So I go for Final Protect here just to kind of scout, and he rests in my goddamn face. I'm like, okay, this is really silly. And I actually think this is game 2 before game 1, but it doesn't matter what order the games are in because it's not like they really depend on each other that much. I mean, I think I just screen recorded one before the other, and like prior knowledge, like the prior knowledge, I did not have the prior knowledge of Infestation in like game 1 anyway, so it's fine. I'm gonna go for a stock Hurricane here because I'm thinking, you know, the Dusclops will be threatened out by it. I get a Justice crit there. I don't really know whether or not that matters, but fuck he good. You know, that whole thing. That thing's dead. Birdnatus has, what is it? It's got the, it has Hidden Power Ice, which I actually took off later, but I'm glad I had it right now, because it does do this to Gliscor, and I do not have to bank on, I don't have to bank on Hurricane hitting or missing without the rain, because my rain is actually gone for the rest of the game, fairly early in the match, which I really was not anticipating, but it happens sometimes, and there's not really a lot I can do about it, and I just have to rely on Hurricane and Thunder hitting at 70 accuracy, or other means of taking things out, which is fine, you know. This freaking, oh, this thing's a Seahawk, that's right. That's kind of why I made the team. I made this team like right after the Super Bowl, and I was like, oh shit, that was a crushing defeat. We'll get our revenge in some way, shape, or form. So I figured I'd bring the rain to the tournament, and, you know, that's kind of what happened there. So go for another Hurricane, and I think that actually knocks it out for, oh, it doesn't. What? Was that a low roll? I don't know. It could have been, but he just Will-O-Wisp right here, so whatever. I think I can just Hidden Power Ice right here to take him out. I was kind of squeamish on whether or not that would, because it's not stab, it's not anything related to any extra power other than Life Orb boosted, but I just didn't really want to risk missing a Hurricane and having him rest again, you feel me? So yeah, he just actually ends up dying, which is fine. So I don't really truthfully know why I'm still talking about this game. This is just more of a formality at this point to introduce the series, as well as just kind kind of get reacquainted to being in front of a microphone again, but I'm not gonna lie and tell you guys that this is like the best thing ever. Like, I'm pretty sure I have had food that has made me thrown up that I've been more satisfied at the end of the day with than these 2 games. I've lost sleep over like every single one of these tournament games because I overthink the shit out of them, and then I just wake up and I feel nervous and I feel ugh. Because I was like, okay, you know what? Now that we're past round 1, I'm not going to fight anything like round 1 and round 2. And I thought 100% wrong. I thought 100% wrong. That logic was not sound. I ended up running into this in round 2. I don't face any difficulty until round 3, and I assure you guys that those games are going to be a lot better. But like I said, this is just more or less a late beginning to a series paper trail that I would like to get started for this, which I thought the entire thing was pretty cool. And over the battles, the amount of battles that I took with this team, as it stands right now, I'm in the finals bracket and I'm waiting for the other match to be decided. So, I mean, win or lose on that last game, I figured this is a wonderful opportunity to at least begin recording these and start uploading them as soon as I finish those games. So I'm kind of hoping to get all of them narrated before they end there. So right there, I just go for Hidden Power Ice because I did not want a Hurricane to miss. I already had Manectric in the bag. I had Hidden Power Ice on it anyway. I was not worried about it in the slightest. And my Sony Vegas is lagging a little bit, so let's see what I can do to fix that. Okay, well, that's more or less the end of Game 1 there. And by that, I mean Game 2. Game 2 in Game 1 slot. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this was a best of 3. Or what is it? Is the expression best out of 3? Or best 2 out of 3, that's what it is. So I guess first to 2 wins it, so it would be 3 games tops. In some situations like this, you know, the matches didn't take very long. I could sit down and finish everything up in, you know, usually around 40 minutes is the block of time I would reserve to do these matches. 40 minutes to, and maybe an hour. Most matches took around 20 minutes, which wasn't too bad. It just meant for, you know, a really exciting portion of my night where I would come home from work and be like, let's do a tournament game, and that would just last a solid hour. It would be great. And there was other games. I'll talk about those when we get to those. But there was one series that ended up taking probably near 2 hours in terms of how long it took, and it was disgusting. So right here, I actually did this. This was my very, very, very first play of the tournament. I let off with Politoed, and I switched immediately to Manectric. Megad, and I am about 95% positive I went for the Hidden Power Ice on this turn because I lost nothing by going for it. I did not want to trigger his own Lightning Rod, and I think I just immediately get very, very, very aggressive for no reason whatsoever. It seemed like I just read him, but in reality, that was just the natural play I wanted to make in the first place because I'm not going to overheat in the rain, and I'm not going to electric move a Manectric. Well, and that's exactly what he just did to me, you know, so I'm going to drop a Thunder right here, and Manectric is actually just going to put a lot of work in as I get super fanged by this Glalie and lose half of my HP rounded down, of course. So go for Hidden Power Ice just because I thought he might try to switch into Sceptile there. Honestly, I didn't lose anything by switching up moves, so it was whatever. I'm pretty sure, I'm about 95% sure this is Manectric putting in a lot of work and then just the rest of the team playing cleanup. So I'm really excited to be narrating the next couple of matches because round 3 was very, very interesting. That went to 3 games. And then there was, you know, some other stuff going on. It was very, very scary. So, yes, moving on. I'm sorry, I get completely distracted. Thankfully, I get a high damage roll on the Dusclops, and I'm able to knock it out. I'm so fucking out of it, guys. I haven't talked to a microphone in the longest time, ever since I recorded that last showdown session, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use that sticky web team against everything, and I realized that it's not a great team when people are using like an augmented, like, you know, when the meta's evolved since then, so things just don't work out that way anymore. So it wasn't as good of a team as I would have liked it to be, and I didn't feel secure about that team. So that team might be going over some you know, careful, close adjustments. We'll see what happens with that team in the near future. But in the meantime, I felt secure with going with this one because Mega Man Electric has never done me or anybody else in the universe wrong. And I figured, hey, you know what? We'll try it out, see how it works out. So he goes into Sceptile as I bring out my Politoed. That's freaking fine by me. I'm only in here to set up the weather and just peace out. So I've got a safe switch in the form of Tornadus. As long as I keep it around, I really don't think he's going to have anything to hit it outside of like Dragon Poles. Oh, he has Focus Blast too, that's well. I think, yeah, he makes the big boy play here and he predicts me. And I'm also not especially defensive at all at this point in the series, so I actually do take a lot of damage from that. But honestly, Football doesn't really care. I took out a lot of things on his team at this point, and I just would like a little bit of damage on Sceptile. I really just want the safe switch into Tornadus to just clean things up, and that's basically how the game's going to go. It looked like he had a lot of potential Megas if Oras was allowed, and on top of that, he just missed another Focus Blast. So, whoop, whoop, if you want a 100% accurate, used to be 70% accurate move, you should be using Hurricane in the rain, or Thunder in the rain, like me, son. That's what kind of works out for you. So, Football actually lives to see another day, and this is around the point where me and Football started being best bros. It was a wonderful time. So I think I get this is where I actually learned about hypnosis, because this is game 1. Once again, it's game 2. I was very weirded out by this, and I was kind of hoping, because of the fact that he seemed to be very new at the game, that he would go for hypnosis again on the Switch, ultimately end up breaking Sleep Claws, and I would just take the early game, because I'll take match points wherever I can take them. But I actually ended up going out into Politoed because I don't care if I get burnt, if I get frozen off of a rogue ass Ice Beam. I can thaw myself with Scald. My ultimate goal is to either Perish Song or Toxic and force this thing out, so that way I can get a more favorable matchup against it. I want a free switch, or I want this thing to come in against something that it knows it necessarily can't. So go for a Perish Song here. Very, very, I'm not going to say underrated move on Politoed, because I usually see these things carry on, to be honest. Anything that isn't a Specs or a Scarf Toad, they'll have Perish Song. And just none of my opponents saw it coming. They would always bring in, setup sweepers on it. And this is not even just in this series. This is just an in general thing. Like, I don't get why people don't get used to the idea that Politoed can run Perish Song, because that's all I've known Politoed as, a physically defensive thing that sets up rain, and you can't set up on it because it has that, and it always runs Protect on as well, and I've always run that Politoed set. So, oh wait, you know what? That's his last poke. That's why I did that. I was BMing pretty hard, because it was in fact his last Pokemon, and I just felt like being 100% maximum rude dude and taking game 1 with a Perish Song, because that's what I do. I know he can't one-shot me from here, and that's it. I literally just have to wait for the Perish count to die, and Football is so good he wins games in his sleep. Look at him. What a champion. Oh man, this is where I start to love Ferrothorn. Anyways, I did win 2 games out of 3, so that moves me out of round 2 into round 3. And that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Holy crap, that was a... Man, if that was a college paper, I would have bullshit that from start to finish that morning. That's basically what that video was. But if you somehow enjoyed it, you can leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I can definitely promise you that the next couple of videos are going to be a lot more interesting. I've still got, potentially 3 more coming up after... what is it? I have 8 right now, I think. Let me think. Yeah, I could have either 10 or 11 at the end of this, and they're all going to be separate, so this is going to be a very long series that I hope you guys are on board for. But this is a long introduction video. That's just, if you all tabbed at all during this, I don't fucking blame you. That's a 100% understandable thing. Anyways, that'll do it out of me for this one, though, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.